Hey everybody, I'm Ian Joy. Welcome to another episode. Let's click in our next guest. Sean Johnson, you're the next guest on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a difficult time right now. How are you doing? How are you coping through this difficult situation?
Yeah, thanks for having me in. Yeah, obviously a tough time at the moment, but just trying to get through it. Trying to make the most of it in terms of spending some quality time, here at home with my girlfriend, catching up with family when I can, just staying connected in any way I can, really,
Yeah.
just to stay mentally clear and just make sure that I get through it better than when I started.
How difficult is it though as a professional trying to deal with a situation like this? Because nobody could have expected it. But as a professional, I mean, you're at peak fitness. You've just finished preseason. So how difficult is that for you to maintain fitness, but also remember that this could go on for a while?
Yeah, I think in this moment it's a bit uncertain, right? You're used to having start date, all your games lined up. You can plan your weeks accordingly for months out, but starting the season out and then abruptly having a break, turning into what may have been a short term break now maybe a bit longer, not really knowing. I think is one of the more difficult things, but I think in these moments, you just kind of take it for what it is, right? We had a long preseason. Was with the national team for a little bit, came in, started the season, and then all of a sudden now we're almost back in an off-season phase or a maintenance phase because we don't really know how long it's going. But I think it's just important just to treat every single week as if you're going back the next week, just so that you don't really have too big of a drop off fitness wise.
Yeah, it's a great mentality to have, and it's always difficult to do not knowing when the end of this is going to be. Have you had much contact with Ronnie Dial and the coaching staff?
Yeah, I spoke to Ronnie actually a few days ago, and we've been getting the team together. We have a bit of a group chat. It's been good to connect and caught up with Ronnie, and just wanted to make sure that we were taking all the necessary steps to making sure that we're ready to go when we come back, and that we're also we're healthy both physically and mentally. I think it's important as well. It's a long time to be confined in whatever space that you have and not really being able to do things as you normally would. It's important to check up on everybody, and he's been in contact with everybody, and it was good to catch up for a little bit.
You're a top professional, and I would like to say this that a lot of people around the league have got so much respect for you and the way you maintain yourself, your professionalism towards games. Do you set yourself a target, like when you come into a season, statistically looking at clean sheets and things like that, or you just want to focus on the team, focus on performances and getting wins?
Yeah, I think for me the most important thing is winning games, and every year I think the only real goal that I set for myself is being better than I was better than I was the previous year.
Yeah.
And then, also, in what ways can I help out, teammates more this year? Can I help out the staff? What way can I assist to basically make the ship run smoother and have our team be more successful? So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't really set clean sheet goals or a win target. Things like that. Obviously, we want to win championships. That's the end goal.
Right.
But in between, I think just doing whatever's necessary to slowly build up to that ultimate goal. And I think on a daily basis, helping others, making sure that everybody's where they need to be to compete, myself included, and then just winning games is the name of the game.
Well, you're a fan favourite, that's for sure, and it's no doubt down to your performances and the way you've represented the club. It's been outstanding, and it's also been recognised by Greg Berhalter and being getting called into the national team. How's that experience been for you?
Yeah, the national team's been great. It's been a great experience the past year, just over a year now. It's been a great experience to get used to Greg and that staff, and now obviously being familiar with a lot of the faces that have been in and out of the national team. Being in all the camps last year and getting that experience and playing games was great, and I want to continue on. And now it's just a matter of picking back up whenever the season resumes.
Yeah.
What the picture is going to look like for the rest of the year. No one really knows, but just being ready when the opportunity comes back around and getting back in the mix, I think is something to really look forward to get me through through this time.
It's been a difficult time for many people around the New York area over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and many people have obviously leaned heavily on entertainment. A few questions for you. What's your favorite book that you have ever read?
My favorite book I've ever read will be two, and they're kind of completely unrelated.
Okay.
One was Principles by Ray Dalio. Great perspective. And then the other one was actually there's an HBO series written on him. There was a guy by the name of the Iceman who was a serial killer, Richard Kuklinski. And I read the book from start to finish, and it was just incredible to see how human could even think about doing certain things just from a psychological standpoint.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty interesting read. So those are two of my favorites that I've read. And Principles was a recent.
There's something about when you pick up a book and it's such an entertaining read, you can't put it down. You just have to finish it as quickly as possible, and at times reread the book so that you make sure you got everything that maybe you missed the first time around. What about your favorite movies?
Favorite movies? Anything Denzel. Denzel's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah.
Recently, movies. Trying to think. Netflix has been probably the most heavily leaned upon streaming service as of late.
Is there anything on there in particular you've been watching right now that's really caught your attention? It's just one of those ones you just binge watch?
Right now, I'm rewatching and binge watching The Office. That's my favorite show of all time. So not necessarily a movie. There's one that I just saw. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. I have to look up the name, but there's basically what quote unquote elevator going up and down. I can't remember the name of it.
Right.
It's like a top 10 at the moment. That was great as well. And then The Irishman was awesome.
Irishman was very good. I'm sure a lot of our followers will definitely know exactly which one it is you're talking about. But you're also a bit of a car lover. What's been the favorite car that you've ever owned?
Favorite car I've ever owned would be my GTR, Nissan GTR. Is a 2013 GTR. Modified it and drove it as a daily driver. And that was definitely a really fun 3 years.
Yeah.
That I got a chance to whip that around.
So what is it about cars that really grabs your attention that you love so much?
Yeah, I think cars for me, it's just something that gives you that sense of joy, and also kind of an escape.
Yeah.
And, when you're in the car, it's for the most part just me, which, a lot of times, you're as a goalkeeper, you're isolated by yourself, but you're in a team environment. But car racing a lot of times is all about, battling yourself and your thoughts and kind of letting yourself go past, the edge. And but that's kind of what got me into cars. And then my uncle, who is still into cars, and actually have a Lexus back home as well.
Nice.
And he's driving that around and tinkering with it. And he was the one who initially got me into cars. So I was pretty happy to kind of return the favor and give him kind of something to kind of toy around with. And now, with all the time that he's got in his hands, he's able to kind of just cruise around and get away a little bit.
Have you watched Ford versus Ferrari yet?
I have not, but I've heard that's a must.
If you're a car lover like you are, it is a must watch. I mean, for movie buffs, full stop, this is a great movie to watch. It really is a fantastic movie. I mean, the roles that were played were outstanding, and the competitive spirit in there was it was brilliant to watch. So you'll absolutely love that. So if you get a chance, go watch that as well. Something I talked to you about in pre-season when you were in California, a commercial was brought to my attention that I know you have got a lot to answer about. What is, and tell us the story about the Milkman delivering.
Yeah, if I had known, I would have brought out the hat. I have it stowed away in a special drawer that I bring out every now and then. I think most of the guys have seen it. But yeah, I was deemed the Milkman, and when I was in Chicago, every time that I made 3 saves during a game, the crowd would get free milk, and it became the floodgates were open that season, so there were a ton of shots on goal, and so it just so happened that most games, if not every game, the crowd got free milk, and so I became the Milkman, the glorified guy who provided the milk for everybody in the crowd. So it was it's something that I've had to deal with and carry, but I own it, man. I own it.
I think it's brilliant. I love it. Again, John, thanks again for joining us and spending a few moments. It's a difficult time right now, especially in the New York area. People are going through a lot. And stuff like this right now, getting to hear from people like yourself who are big figures in New York, it just gives them a little joy in their life once again. So finally, before we finish, do you have a message for your supporters who are watching on?
Yeah, I think for the supporters, I'd just say, be safe in these times. They're tough times, or unprecedented times. But I think if we do our part, we'll get through it a lot quicker. And obviously, miss being on the pitch, miss being around all you guys. But like I said, the smarter we are about it, the quicker we get through it, the more we can all reunite back on the pitch, and hopefully see you guys at Yankee Stadium soon.
Well said, Sean. Thank you once again for joining us. Sean Johnson, everybody. Love and respect to you, my man. We look forward to seeing you back out on the field.
Thanks for having me.